Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Assalamu alaikum. As you all know, I'm back with another video. This is actually May 6th when I'm recording it. I don't know what time I'm gonna release it, but we're already halfway through Ramadan at this point. But I still thought I should make this video because this video can still help you whether or not you're in Ramadan. So basically what we're talking about today is how to remain focused during Ramadan and how to make the most of your Ramadan. So obviously we know if there's anyone that's not Muslim watching us, Ramadan is the holy month for us Muslims. It's the month where we're supposed to fast from sunup to sundown every day for a month. We also add a bunch of extra things in there too, like increase how much you pray. You're supposed to do good, read your Quran, all of that. Just like it's a month to try and become the best Muslim and the best version of yourself that you can be. With that, let's just get straight into it. One of the most important ways to remain focused and make the most of Ramadan is to make yourself accountable. What I mean by make yourself accountable is literally just What I mean by make yourself accountable
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
What I mean by make yourself accountable is literally just a lot of times what we like to do during Ramadan is just make yourself accountable during Ramadan is that a lot of times during Ramadan we just like to, we'll eat suhoor, go to sleep, wake up at like 3 p.m., come back downstairs and just do whatever till 3 p.m. Just play games, stay, just to get it out, nigga. The fuck? What I mean by making yourself accountable is literally just doing what you know you have to do. You know what it means to fast, what it means to be in Ramadan. So literally just trying your best to change what you're doing and make the most of the Ramadan. So what I like to do personally that helps me is just to make a list. Sometimes I write it out. I've been writing it out for so many years that now it's just a mental list. But I make a list of the things I want to work on during Ramadan, what I know I have to do, and I kind of just check them off every day as it goes. So, like I might have a list where it's like, okay, this Ramadan, before Ramadan started, I wasn't really praying on time or I wasn't really reading Quran as much. So I'll make a list like, okay, this Ramadan I'll increase how much, I'll pray on time. I'll increase the times that I pray. One of the ones I actually wanted to add onto there was going to the masjid more and praying in the masjid more, but obviously with the corona and everything going around, you can't really do that. But I just have a list, try not to waste so much time because I do spend a lot of time just on my bed wasting time.
Bro, what are you talking about?
Ramadan, stay active, doing a bunch of things. But if you can make a list and you can really try and stick to it, that's the best way. The second thing I would actually say is it supplements what I just finished saying, is like not to burn yourself out, because I see a lot of people, Ramadan starts and they have the energy, they're like, okay, I'm gonna pray 5 times a day, I'm gonna read Quran every 2 hours, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and they burn themselves out. By the end of like the first 10 days, like they're burnt out. They don't really do what they're supposed to do anymore, because they've been trying. Let me get what I'm saying correct. I'm bugging. Don't burn yourself out in the sense that like people like to change that's the right word. People like to change their lifestyles. Thank you, people like to change their lifestyles. It's very hard to go from, if you weren't really reading Quran like that, you weren't really praying 5 times a day, you weren't doing so and so, it's hard to try and go from there to praying 5 times a day and doing it. It's too much of a switch in your life. So like people say, take it easy, start off with something small and work on it as the days go on.
Okay.
Slowly. Maybe today you want to work on reading a little bit of Quran. Maybe even if you read 1 ayah today. If you read 1 ayah today, maybe 2 the next day. Just slowly try and work on it as you go. The third one that I would say to remain focused and make the most out of your Ramadan is to make sure to pray 5 times a day. have to make those 5 daily prayers, and in Ramadan, it's best to try and make them on time. Especially now since it's coronavirus and we're all stuck inside the house, it's way easier to do the prayers that you have to do. And another thing I want to add with that is to pray in Jamal. That's in congregation. If you don't already know, you get way more blessing praying with other people and praying as a group, and you actually have a higher chance of your prayers being answered. So, make sure to do those 5 daily prayers, and make sure to always ask Allah for what you want after you finish praying. The fourth one I would say is to try and occupy yourself as much as you can. What a lot of people do is that they stay up all night just doing frivolous things, which is fine. We all do frivolous things, but frivolous, what the fuck? We all do things that don't really, we all do things that, not really that we don't need to do, but we just like wasting time, because we don't really have the energy to get up. So, you just stay on your phone a lot of times, play games, whatever you might do, and you can still do that, don't get me wrong, but just try and occupy yourself as much as you can. Ramadan, most of the time, Ramadan comes with a lot of free time. So use that free time and try and better yourself, try and work on yourself. That's actually what I'm doing right now. That's why I'm recording this video. I'm recording this video as I'm fasting. And it's definitely helping me. It's definitely helping the fast go by. So just try and occupy yourself. If you found a hobby, you should pick up that hobby. I actually started sewing.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I know it's a weird hobby, but I started sewing. I have a reason why. I don't really have an interest for it, but I'm working on something. So just stay tuned for that also. And the last one that I would say, that I would actually say is the most important out of everything that I said before, except from praying 5 times a day. As you know, as a Muslim, that's the most important thing you can do. But after that, what I would say the most is to watch the company you keep. That goes for a lot of things in life, but especially during Ramadan. Like the saying, you're a collection of the 5 people who are most around you, is true. Even if you're trying to be the best Muslim that you can, if everybody around you is doing wrong, it's going to take away from that. And even if you don't really care about being a good Muslim, if you surround yourself around good Muslims who are praying on time, reading Quran and all of that, you're naturally going to emulate what they're doing. Especially if you fuck with them. Like, one thing that I haven't been able to do this Ramadan is, really spend time with the people in my mosque. And I regret it a lot, because that is one of the things that, pushes me to be a better Muslim and do certain things. Is like, when you're hanging out with somebody, like I remember when I was younger, I used to spend a lot of time in the mosque, especially during Ramadan. During Ramadan, I used to spend almost every day at the mosque. And that, even though it was fun, even though they were my friends and I was having fun, me literally doing that, it made me become a better Muslim, because hanging around Muslims, you're gonna do Muslim things. And if you hang around Christians, or if you hang around bad people, you're gonna do bad things. Huh? Oh, that was bad. Let me not add that. Let me cut that. If you hang around, I'm not saying Christians are bad. Let me make that clear. But if you hang around Christian people, you're gonna do Christian things. If you hang around Muslim people, you're gonna do Muslim things. If you hang around good people, you're gonna do good things. If you hang around bad people, you're gonna do bad things. That's basically it for the video. I know Ramadan is almost done. There's not that much time. We're basically halfway through, but the last 10 days are coming up, which is the most important days of, it's the most important days of fasting. So you should try and make those, and just try and make the best of your fasting. That's it.